All right, Facebook, what's going on? And everybody else out there in internet land. Hope everyone is having a fantastic Friday. I know some of y'all are at work. I took off today to handle some much needed business I need to catch up with. So I thought in my spare time and my break away from that, I wanted to shoot a quick video. I haven't done a video, an empowerment video in a long time. So I thought since I had a few minutes, I want to jump on here real quick and talk about your paycheck and where it's going, considering today is Friday and some of us have gotten paid today. But you're probably looking at your paycheck or your pay stub and wondering why your gross income is different from your net income. All right, we're going to talk about that today. So I want to allow some folks to jump on and let Facebook do its thing as far as building up. And shortly here, we're going to go over and we're going to talk about what's happening to the money that you're earning every pay period. Okay, we're going to talk about that. All right. So as we jump on here and let this Facebook Live go viral, all right. By all means, if throughout the time we're talking and sharing, if you find this information valuable, by all means share it. Invite others to it, and so they can get empowered as well. All right. Give me a second here. Let's see what's going on. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. Jumping on here. I'm getting some time for some folks to jump on. Okay. And we're going to share this here. All right, give me a second here. All right. All right, hopefully everybody is on. Everyone will probably catch on a little bit later. So let me go ahead and get started. For those who do not know me, my name is Cedric Jenkins, and I live here in Montgomery, Alabama. And just a little bit about myself, if you're a new follower of mine, I'm a computer engineer. I've been working for the federal government now for at least 22 years in that career space. I'm also a military officer of 28 years in that same career space. And so combined household income, I'm right at a low to middle six-figure income earner. But being that, people tend to look at that and tend to think that because of that household income that's on a W-2 looks good and we shouldn't be struggling financially, but that wasn't the case. So I want everyone to understand that no matter how much money you're earning, there are some adversaries that's beating you to your money, all right? Hence the reason why most of us, or some of us are struggling financially, going from check to check, just barely making ends meet. But do know that that's not a fault of your own, okay? because there are some things that I didn't know that was having me strapped financially that really wasn't my fault. It was something that I didn't know. And then with me not knowing, I didn't have a way of overcoming my financial struggles. But 4 years ago, I came across some information that I didn't know that helped me tremendously transform my family's finances. So since then, I've been on this quest to help others do the same, provided they are humble and meek and willing to learn. I always gravitate to those who are humble and meek and willing to learn because I'm that type person. And so the only way that you can learn and get wise is you do first have to be meek and humble. But if you're the type person that says to themselves, they already know it all, then chances are you ain't gonna learn anything to change or transform your situation. So today, I wanted to jump on here today because of the fact today is payday, right? And I'm quite sure some of us, if not most of us, have gotten paid. Now, some of y'all might have looked at your pay stub and kind of looked at, your gross income versus your net income, right? And so for those who did, I want to ask the question, have you ever asked yourself the question or thought to yourself why your gross is not the same as your net? Your net is your take home pay. And if you always looked at your pay stub, you always will see that your net will always be less than your gross. Did you ever ask yourself the question, why is that? Well, 4 years ago, I used to ask myself that same question. And one of the biggest things that I saw that was eating away at my gross was federal and state income taxes. Believe it or not, for most of us, for all of us really who earn an income, we lose in at least 33% of our buying power to taxes. This is not debatable. This is a fact. Okay. This is not even a debatable discussion that if you're working for someone, if you're getting wages, you're taxed very heavily. Hence the reason why you see gross and net are tremendously different. All right. All you have to do is go look at your pay stub. You get a friendly reminder of how much the government eats away at your paycheck. So I want to talk about that today because of the fact if you get empowered about how your tax system work, now you can kind of come up with a strategy or plan to use the same set of tax laws to bring money back into your household. And that's what I'm an advocate about doing, is helping the average taxpayer, the American taxpayer, lower their personal income taxes on an average of 33% or $20,000 or more, give or take, so that way they can get tax savings to bring back more money to their household. Because we want to try to build wealth for ourselves and for our future generations. But we cannot build wealth if we don't understand where our money is going and how our money is leaving our household. So I want to do that today. And the main thing I want to focus on today is taxes, because we're in tax season, right? And so I know we're out there getting our tax prepared to file our taxes or whatnot, but you got to understand how these taxes work. They can work for you or they can work against you. All right. So let me help you understand that. So give me a second here. Let me just share my screen. And we are going to talk about how we're going to do that. All right. Give me a second here. Give me a second. We are going to do that. All right. So since we're talking about taxes, here's what you need to know. Taxes is keeping your pocket empty every day, every day. All right. I want y'all to understand this. Taxes is everybody's biggest expense. All right. You probably gonna say, nah, my cable bill, my mortgage, this, that, and others is my biggest expense. But I'm here to tell you, taxes is everyone's biggest expense. All right. And depending on where what kind of money that you're earning, all right, it's probably going to take a huge chunk out of your check. So let's explain a few things here, okay? So did you know, all right, did you know the average American is forking over at least 33%? I alluded to that at the beginning of this webinar, right? To help everyone know that you're losing 33% of your buying power to taxes through payroll deductions with no questions asked. If you're earning money on wages, okay, this is what's happening to you. But here's something that you need to know in addition to that, and that is this. After you get your net, you got a lifestyle expenses. You got to put gas in your car, clothes on your back, keep a roof over your head, mouth to feed, things of that nature. After you get your net pay, the average American pays at least over close to 100 different types of taxes year in and year out. All right. I'm not going to go over all the 100 different types of taxes, but here's the common known one, these common known taxes here. I already talked about federal income taxes. I already talked about state income taxes. You got local income taxes. All right. You got property tax, sales tax. Look at the sales tax. Okay. Sales tax can go into any of your lifestyle expenses. You got to go get clothes for yourself, for your family. Okay. They're going to have taxes tacked on. All right. If you put gas in your car, they're going to have taxes tacked on. If you go do any kind of purchases, taxes going to be added. So that means that tells you this. Just because taxes initially is taking the biggest chunk out of your paycheck already without them asking a question, now you taking after tax dollars, all right, that's left over, after tax dollars to go service or to go pay on your lifestyle expenses was left over. And when you do, guess what happens? You get hit again with taxes. All right. You get hit again with taxes. So taxes don't stop. All right. Taxes do not stop. But I want you to understand this right here. 33% is the biggest percentage that comes out from your paycheck. You just lost 33% of your buying power by default. All right. By default. So let me help you explain, or let me help you understand what's a tax credit. All right. Because here's the thing we got to understand is this. The money that you're earning, in order for you to see more money coming to your household or to your pocket, you have to have a way to lower your tax liability. All right. And it comes from having tax credits and itemized deductions. So let me explain what a tax credit is. Okay. Tax credit is basically the amount of money that you could potentially owe that could be decreased from your tax bill. So say, for instance, that you had a tax bill of $3,000. If you qualify for a tax credit, then let's say, for instance, a child tax credit, which is $1,000 per child. Let's say that you had 2 children. All right. So that means you get a $2,000 tax credit. So instead of you having a tax bill owing Uncle Sam $3,000, you're only going to owe Uncle Sam $1,000 because of the child tax credit that you got. The $2,000 tax credit that you got is going to be subtracted from your tax bill. All right. Which now decreases it. Now you only owe Uncle Sam $1,000. That's how tax credit works. All right. These are the different tax credits. All right. Because these tax credits are, well, every tax savings are not given by default. You have to qualify for them. So let's look at the tax credits. All right. You got family dependent credits. I already talked about the child tax credit. You got earned income credit. What else? Child credit for elderly or disabled. Okay. But these are not given by default. You have to qualify for them. A lot of people tend to think that these come automatically. In order for you to earn to qualify for them, you have to have a dependent that you provide properly care for. All right. They just don't come automatically. What other tax credits? Electric vehicle credits. Well, in order for you to get this tax savings, guess what you got to own? Electric vehicle. You don't get it by having a gas a car that's operated by gas. All right. Healthcare. That's another tax credit. All right. What else we got? So we got some of these other tax credits here. But here's what I want to tell you. Okay, here's another one here, and that's homeowners, right? And so if you're not a homeowner, if you're a renter, guess what? You don't qualify for the mortgage interest credits. Only those who are homeowners. Educational, those are people who are in a repayment loan for if you went to a 4-year college and now you have a student loan. Okay, these are credits that you can get. Now, I want everyone to look at this and ask yourself the question, do you meet or do you qualify for any and all of these tax credits? If the answer is no, guess what? You're probably not getting much tax savings. As a matter of fact, I guarantee you that you're not getting that much tax savings because of the fact that you don't qualify for them. All right. Okay. These are not by default. Now, let's talk about deductions for individuals. All right. What I'm going over now is standard tax credit and standard tax deduction. All right. And so these are the different types of deductions for individuals. If you're wage income earners, all right. These are the different types of deductions. Again, you're not going to qualify for these by default or automatic. You have to have possession of these in order for you to claim these deductions. Now, actually look at these deductions and ask yourself the question, do you qualify for any of these deductions? If the answer is no, chances are you're not getting much tax savings. And I'm here to tell you, as a wage income earner, right, I'm showing you that you have very limited to no tax savings, okay? And here later on, I'm going to show you why that is, all right? So now, I want everybody to know that there's at least 10 million words in the IRS in the IRS tax codes. All right, we're talking about the IRS publication and U.S. Treasury tax code. 9 million words. Okay, hidden in those 9 million words, you have 2 tax systems. I don't think everybody understood this know this, right? I didn't know it, but I had to learn it, right? But hidden in those words, you have 2 tax systems. All right. What are those tax systems? Well, the first one is for wage income earners, employees. All right. Okay. So those are for those who work for someone. All right. Here are and I kind of went over the type of deductions for wage income earners, provided that you qualify for them, right? Okay. But this is the first tax system. All right. This is the first tax system. Here's the philosophy if you are an employer and work for someone. All right. You work very hard for your money, and everybody does. All right. But you lose a huge chunk of the money that you're earning to taxes by default because it happens through payroll deduction. All right. And then now you're forced to, you're in a challenge to take the money, which is the net, your take home pay, and use that for your lifestyle expenses. All right. That is the philosophy for those who work for employees. This is not debatable. All right. You can put any kind of comments that you want in the bottom of the field, but this is not debatable. This is fact. And we have to understand that. All right. This is the philosophy. If you don't believe me, today is payday. Go. All you got to do is, as a reminder, go look at your pay stub. All right. You earned your money. You put in 80 hours. All right. You put in 80 hours. Then now Uncle Sam overnight, even though it was direct deposited, Uncle Sam met with the banker and say, let me get my 33% cut from this person who earned this paycheck, and then they can get the rest for their lifestyle expenses. That's basically what took place. That takes place with all Americans who work for someone. So that's what happens in this tax system. All right. Let's talk about the second tax system. Okay. And that is for business owners. All right. Business owners, on the other hand, get tons of write-off off their expenses. So let's go back to the first tax system where you were employed, you were an employee and you have expenses. Here's what happens. Here's what the government says to those people. Personal living and family expenses are non-tax deductible. That's what the IRS says to a wage income earner. Now, I think we all agree that personal living and family expenses are necessary. Yes, they are. However, the government says none of it is tax deductible. Now, in this tax system for the business owner, let's say that you're a business owner and you just so happen to run your business either from a brick and mortar or from the comfort of your home. All right. Now your expenses are deductible. So now in that same clause, it says personal living and family expenses are not tax deductible. However, personal living and family expenses that are used toward a business is tax deductible. All right. Big difference. Big difference. Okay. Big difference. So all this stuff here, right? As a wage income earner, unless you can qualify for them, you can't qualify for them if you're a wage income earner. But as a business owner, you can. Now, someone is probably saying, well, Cedric, I saw these same deductions as a wage income earner as far as mortgage interest, things of that nature. And yes, you did. Here's the beauty of that, right? If you're a business owner, and particularly if you're running your business out of the comfort of your home, on your Schedule A, which is your short form, all right, you can claim the mortgage interest, all right, the property tax, and the mortgage insurance premium. But if you're a business owner, guess what you can claim it again on your Schedule C for additional tax savings, all right? You can claim it on your Schedule C for additional tax savings, along with claiming your utilities, such as your gas, electric, water, sewage, and all that good stuff. Whereas over here, as a wage income earner, you could not, okay? Big difference. The money that you're spending on your lifestyle expenses now becomes tax deductible because of the fact it supports your business. But over in the other tax system, those was just out-of-pocket expenses. And again, personal living and family expenses are non-tax deductible. All right. But over here, those expenses are deductible. Here's the philosophy of a business owner. Okay. You earn an income, all right, from products and goods and services that you provide to the marketplace. Then your business spend on their expenses. Okay. And then they pay taxes last. All right. They tell Uncle Sam how much they want to pay in taxes after they take care of their expenses first. Whereas in the other tax system, as a wage income earner, you don't have that right. You don't get that say so. Uncle Sam says, you're going to spend what's left over after I get my cut first. That right there should make some folks mad, because Uncle Sam wasn't the one who earned that money. It was you. If you earn it, why should you not keep it? But if you like giving your money away to Uncle Sam, go right ahead. I know it's a patriotic thing to do, but there's nothing in a tax clause or U.S. Treasury tax code that says you have to overpay your tax. Because essentially, if you let Uncle Sam take your money off the top, you're essentially overpaying your taxes. All right. You essentially overpaying your taxes if you letting Uncle Sam take his cut first. All right. So let me show you what's happening to your money that you're earning. But by all means, if you finding value up to this point thus far, by all means, share it out to some folks so they can hear it. Since this is Friday and Payday Friday, everyone needs to know and learn this. All right. So let's see what happens to your money. All right. So this is by example. All right. Someone that's earning $50,000 in annual salary. This is, we talking gross pay now, all right? Now, again, I always said wage income earners are taxed at the highest tax bracket, and they typically are taxed at 33%. So when you look at 33%, that's $16,500 of taxes that's taken away from that gross pay. All right. So basically, your net, okay, is $33,500. All right. Now, that's not including other payroll deductions that's coming out of your paycheck, like Social Security, FICA, health insurance coverage, things of that nature. I'm just going off the raw salary by itself, because this right here should be gloom and doom for everyone right off the rip. I didn't want to get in there and try to add in the FICA and Social Security, because everybody's FICA, Social Security payroll deduction is not the same. There's no way I could come up with a one fit all number. All right. I just want to go off of just the annual salary to show you how much money that you're earning is being lost. All right. So now you can look at $33,500 is what you'll be bringing home annually. All right. But here's what happens. The money that you bring home, now you have the challenge. You still got lifestyle expenses, all right? After you've been hit with the 33%, now you get nickel and dime for your lifestyle expenses. You still, long as you're living and breathing, you're gonna have these lifestyle expenses. Look what you gotta pay, all right? Look what you gotta pay in taxes. So a lot of folks tend to think, in order to beat the tax man and stay ahead of the tax man, I'm gonna go work some extra hours or go get another job. All right. The more money you make, the more Uncle Sam take. All right. And here's what you're doing when you do that. Right. You're losing the most important asset that everyone, or equity that everyone have, and that is time. Listen, time is not infinite for everyone. All right. We tend to think that we have all the time in the world, but we really and truly don't have all the time in the world. Right. Time, everybody got the same time, 24 hours a day. Right. When it's gone, hopefully the Lord will allow it to replenish another 24 hours to us. Right. But we don't have rollover minute options in life. When that time is gone, it's gone. So you losing time with spending time with your family, friends, doing personal things, because of the fact you working overtime or working a second job trying to outpace Uncle Sam. But I'm here to tell you, you will never outpace Uncle Sam and the tax laws if you're in the first tax system. Look what's happening. Again, right off the rip, by default, you're losing 33%. And then after that, your take home after tax dollars, this is what you have to spend on for your lifestyle. All right. So that means you'll never outpace Uncle Sam. You will never do it. I don't care if you have 3 jobs, 4 jobs. I don't care if you're working 160 hours overtime. All you're doing is killing yourself trying to outpace Uncle Sam. And Uncle Sam is sitting in the cut, chilling, laughing at you, saying, go out there, kill yourself, trying to outpace me. But my tax laws will always beat you. Essentially, they will. All right. But there's a way. OK, there's a way. Here's what you need to do in order to increase some cash flow back into your household. All right. There's 5 things that we all as American taxpayers need to do in order for us to bring more cash back into our homes. Here's the first thing that we need to do. We need to have a tax deferred life. Okay. We need to be tax deferred. We need to be tax free. We need to have tax savings. We need to have tax awareness. And lastly, we need to have tax protection. All right. We need to have those 5 things going for us in order for us to live an abundant lifestyle. All right. But that's not going to happen in the first tax system as a wage income earner by itself, because the tax laws do not allow you to have a tax deferred, tax free, tax savings, tax awareness, tax protection lifestyle. Okay. Only if you're in the second tax system as a business owner that will allow you to do those 5 things, because the tax laws are specifically written for business owners. All right. And business owners can do these 5 things automatically by default. Okay. Again, the tax laws are specifically written for business owners to thrive financially in this society, not for wage income earners. All right. I know we've been institutionalized to go get good grades, get a good job, and get that house with the white picket fence. All right. But some of us are hardly getting that fence, and it definitely ain't painted white. All right, because we're check to check. And when we're check to check, there's some financial things that we need to have that goes to the wayside. For instance, if we check to check, do we ever think about building our emergency fund? The answer is no, because we don't have the extra money to do it. If we're check to check, right? And do we have a burial plan for our loved ones? The answer is no, because we don't have money set aside. And so what we're left to do is to set up a GoFundMe to bury our loved ones. I think that's something that we really truly need to stay away from, is coming up with a GoFundMe. Now I know we got to do what we got to do, but we all of us should have life insurance and a proper burial plan, or a burial plan, so that way when our loved ones pass away, the financial burden is not placed on the family member. All right. We shouldn't be setting up no GoFundMe to put our loved ones 6 feet under. If we're check to check, do we have money set aside for our retirement? The answer is no. So if we check to check, a lot of this stuff is afterthought, because of the fact we're just trying to stay ahead with what the current bills that we have now. But that's because of the fact you in the first tax, most people who earn an income are in the first tax system, where they're not living a tax deferred, tax free, tax saving, tax awareness, tax protection life. All right. If you're doing these 5 things, then now you'll generally start seeing more of your own money that you're earning come back to you. All right. And so again, business owners get all the expenses, and if they can write them off. So if they can write them off, they get all the tax savings. All right. These are expenses where you're going to spend money on anyway, right? You're doing that now. Why not convert them into business expenses to where now these are deductible, which will give you tax savings at the end of the year? The more tax savings that you can accumulate for your household, the more of the tax savings will show up in your refund. That's what help. That's more tax savings will help you get a bigger refund check. All right, but limited tax savings will not show up in your tax return. All right, you have to position yourself to get these expenses, qualify for these expenses, so that way you can get you some tax savings. All right. Again, that's the philosophy of a business owner. All right. This is philosophy of the business owner. So we're coming down to the end of my little presentation here. So I want everyone to understand is this. Okay. You could be sitting in a wrong tax system, right? A clear indication is if you're looking at your pay stub and you seeing a big chunk of your money being lost to taxes, that should be a clear indication that you're probably in the first tax system. All right. And in the first tax system, you're getting very limited to no tax saving. All right. However, you can change that. All right. You can become a business owner, and now you can start getting huge tax savings. Again, let me ask the question. Do you want your lifestyle expenses to be non-tax, tax deductible or tax deductible? All right. Ask yourself the question, the money that you're spending on anyway, as far as lifestyle expenses, do you want it to be tax deductible or non-tax deductible? If you want it to be tax deductible and you want to find a way of doing that, I want you to understand and know that I'm part of a financial movement that's helping and aiding others to be able to do that. All right. And so if you were invited by someone, by a business partner of mine, I want you to get back with that person and text them or comment or inbox them the keyword taxes. If you came on as my special guest, I want you to do the same. And what we'll do is send you some information on how you can learn these tax laws to where now you can convert these tax laws, have these tax laws work in your favor, where before it was working against you. Listen, y'all, your life is nothing more than a tax code in itself. You have to be able to position yourself to be in the right tax system to use the tax code to your advantage. If you're in the wrong tax system, guess what's happening? The tax codes are working against you. But if you're sitting in the right tax system, the tax code can work for you. And when they can work for you, now you can start building wealth for yourself and for your generation. Does it matter to you whether or not if you want to build generational wealth? It should. Does it matter to you if you want to stop struggling financially? It should. All right. And so I'm here to share with everyone that we have a financial membership program that can aid and educate and impart some wise information that was imparted to me, some information to you on how you can use Uncle Sam to pay your lifestyle expenses, because that's what's happening to me and my family. The things that I come out my pocket now for and spend now are deductible. Okay. Everything that I spend money on now is deductible. Now, can you ask yourself the question, the money that you spend on your expenses, is it deductible? If the answer is no, and you want to have your lifestyle expenses deductible, I will highly encourage everyone to get in contact with myself or any of my business partners who I shared this video with you. Type or comment the keyword taxes, all right? And so that way we can get you some information. So that way you can start learning how you can get in from one tax system into another and use that second tax system to lower your taxes or the income that you're earning in the first tax system. All right. So I hope everyone enjoyed this lunchtime or daytime webinar. I hope it was powerful. If you found it valuable and found some intrinsic value to it, by all means, please share. And I want to wish everyone a happy Friday and have a wonderful weekend. All right. We'll talk at y'all later. Y'all be good.